Hi, everybody. I'm Scott, and thanks for joining us again today for another episode of the In Medicine and On Medicine podcast. It is the start of our second full year of doing this, episode number 53. Whoa. As always, this is Susan Wellman. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
Susan is an Oriental medicine doctor, East Asian medical practitioner here in the Las Vegas, Nevada Valley. You'll see her information come across the screen every so often. If you want to email her, make an appointment, do something other than just gamble when you're here in Las Vegas, questions, all that good stuff, which you may also leave in the comments below as you come up with them, and we'll try and get answers for you. And today, you see, we are in not our normal studio setting because I am doing my normal every couple of months, taking advantage of the good doc and just coming in for a tune-up treatment. So, figure might as well bring the camera along as always and tape it and make a show out of it. So where do you want to begin?
Well, where I always like to begin, which is, do you have any medical concerns? Any symptoms that you're
Just my
dealing with?
normal gallbladder thing that I'm always concerned about for the last 6 months now. So,
Okay.
and it comes and goes. And,
Okay.
I was at a birthday party the other night and overindulged, but I didn't totally overindulge. So it's a little better than I've been in general, but I just want to make, I always want to keep an eye on that because as you've now convinced me, I want to keep my gallbladder and not let them just take it out.
Yeah, no, it's always good to keep the original equipment, if you can. Now, not having said that, there are times when people need to have their gallbladders removed. So, but not always. So, any other concerns? How's your sleep? Is your sleep okay? Do you have enough energy to get through the day?
Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
No unusual sweating or thirst?
Nope.
Okay, well, let's just take your pulses and see what the deal is. Let me go grab the bolster because I like to do it this way. There we go. And we will take your pulses. So, as our audience knows, there are 3 pulses on each wrist at 3 different depths. So on the left, we have the heart system pulse, the liver system pulse. Ooh, there's the gallbladder.
There's the gallbladder.
Yeah, there it is. Yep, okay. And the kidney yin pulse. Alrighty. And then on this side, we have the lung system, spleen stomach system. Have you eaten today?
Yes, I just had eggs and a bowl of oatmeal.
Okay, good. Okay. And let's see your tongue. Here, let me see, like the whole thing. Oh, okay. Interesting. How about underneath? All right, that looks pretty good under there. Okay, so it looks to me like you've got a little bit going on in here.
Okay, which I normally do.
Right, and one of the things that the gallbladder is kind of prone to is dampness.
Okay.
Right, and so
which we had an unusual amount of here the last couple of weeks with all this rain.
Right, so
for the desert.
as internally, so as externally, right? So your tongue and your pulse show a couple different things. It shows that your gallbladder is a little in excess, okay, as opposed to deficient. Okay, so it's a little bit, and that you have a little bit of dampness in here. Okay, so those 2 things, excuse me, we should be able to take care of.
Okay.
So, any questions?
No, what do we do?
Well, I was thinking, why don't we do something completely different and not use needles today?
Oh, okay. What's that?
Let's use sound. We'll use sound healing. So let me, let's see. How do we want to do it? Well, I want to put you on the table first. And then I'll show our audience what I'm going to be using.
Awesome.
And we'll do a sound healing treatment.
Okay. This is off. Face down, face up.
Face up. Alrighty. Okay, so I have a Biomat on the table.
Okay, and it feels lovely already.
It's on number 3. So is that not too warm?
No.
That's okay. Okay. The Biomat has 45 pounds of amethyst crystals and tourmaline in it. It weighs a ton, but it also I don't really understand how it works, but has this therapeutic use that's really pretty amazing.
It
People
is
love it.
FDA approved, as I recall,
It was
right?
FDA approved as a medical device, yeah. So then I like to give people a little cushion under their wrists, like
Okay.
so. So yeah, so we're going to be doing some sound healing. And so I learned all about this when I was back in school, so like 25 years ago. So I have 3 sets of tuning forks. And this is called an activator, and I put it on my leg so that when I smack the tuning forks on my leg, I don't bruise myself.
Oh, so you put it on your leg. Okay.
Yeah, I put it on my leg.
Okay.
There we go.
Let's see what that looks like.
See?
Okay.
Like that?
Alrighty.
Okay. So then we have...
It's like a contact sport.
Yeah. So my first set of tuning forks, I'll show you what these look like. So these tuning forks were devised to resonate with the frequencies of celestial bodies. Okay? So how does that even work?
What does that mean?
What does that even mean? Oh, and let me give you some heat on your feet with the lamp.
Oh, yes, more heat.
Yeah, more heat. Okay. So someone, and I cannot for the life of me remember who, I think it was an Italian scientist a couple centuries ago, figured out the frequencies of different celestial bodies, like the frequency of the Earth spinning on its axis, the frequency of the Earth spinning, going around the sun, the frequency of the sun spinning on its axis, the frequency of different planets, the frequency of the solar system moving through the universe. It moves through the zodiac, right? Figured all that out. So then somebody else, some other scientist, figured out that if you could extrapolate those frequencies over and over and over and over and over up to the point where we can hear them, okay, that leads you to a series of tones. So, for example...
Sounds like what we were just watching in Pluribus the last couple of weeks.
It is kind of like that. So, for example, these 2 forks are the moon. So this is... the moon spinning on its axis, and this is the moon going around the solar system, going around the Earth. Okay, so the moon is the most yin body in the solar system.
Okay.
Right? I mean, in our solar system for us. Okay, so these tend to work on the yin of the body.
Okay.
These 2 are the Earth spinning on its axis, and these are critical because this is the sound of Om, right? Om, like people use when they meditate, right?
Okay.
That's the sound of the Earth. So this is home, right? This is our home.
Okay.
Okay, so these are very important. This is the Earth going around the sun. So it's very tonifying for the Earth element in our bodies, which is the spleen and the stomach, or the digestion. And then this one is the frequency of the solar system going through the universe in the zodiac. So this is the most dispersing, right? Because it's the biggest.
So when there's stagnation, you use that one? Am I on track there? Okay,
Yes.
I'm learning after
Very
a year
good.
of this. So.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So then we've got another set. Well, let me show you this small set. So this small set is just the sun and the Earth. So this is just like this, the Om, the Earth fork, but it's just a deeper, it's an octave lower.
Okay.
Okay. And then this is the sun spinning on its axis. So this is the most yang fork in the body, right? Or the fork for the body, right? It tonifies the yang, whereas this one tonifies the yin. So we got that.
And this is just figured out over millennia, these.
Yeah, so I learned this, what was her name? Diane Carey, I think was her last name. God, it's been so long. Oh, God, if she ever sees this, she'll kill me for not remembering her name. But anyway, she was the person that I learned this from. Okay. She developed these forks. And then I have another set of forks that are kind of the crazy forks. These forks are the same frequencies, but they are at a higher level. And so we actually don't use these forks directly on the body. So here we have the yin forks, like the moon, but very high very
Okay.
high. So we don't even use those on the body. We use them around the body
Okay.
on like your energetic field.
Okay.
And we've got the earth, right? We don't use those on the body either. And then we have the sun. So we have the yin, the yang, and the earth.
Okay.
And then the final thing is I have some singing bowls. So the singing bowls are made, they're all individual. And when I bought my singing bowls, one of my professors, Paul Ponton was his name. He's since passed away, but he was a Chinese medicine practitioner and also a chiropractor, and he was big into sound. And he had a room in his office that had hundreds of these. And so when you wanted to buy a bowl from Paul, you just went and sat in the room for as long as you wanted, and you just played them all until you found the ones that you wanted. So I ended up over the years with these three. So this one,
But is there a where's the therapeutic in the different bowls, or is it?
yeah, so the bowls are all made out of 7 different metals that are all somehow fused together. I don't know how it works. And they all have very distinctive sounds. So they're very complex, and it also depends on what you hit them with. So like, for example, this one is like, when you hit it with this, sounds like that. But then when you hit it with something a little harder, it has a little bit more of a brassy kind of a sound.
Right.
This bowl is very heavy, and it also has more of a therapeutic tonifying quality to it, especially when you hit it with this thing.
Fascinating.
Okay, whereas this bowl has a whole different sound.
Okay.
This bowl is more dispersing in nature. It still has a tonifying quality, but it is more dispersing. And again, it's quite different no matter what you hit it with, right? It gets more yang-like when you hit it with this thing. And then the last one is my little bowl.
Oh, totally different.
Yeah, which is, this one I feel like is sort of my outer space bowl, because I feel like it sounds like a flying saucer. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of does.
And so how is it determined with the bowls compared to the forks, what the therapeutic tones are?
You know, it when you put together a sound healing treatment, or this is how I do it anyway, is I start off with the forks, and I use the forks on different acupuncture points, just like I would use needles.
Okay.
And then I like to step into using some of the bowls. For example, if we wanted to tonify something, like in general, you know, we can put the bowls directly on the body or even near the body. And
So am I wrong in thinking of them in terms of it works over the points in the same way that when you use moxa, you're not touching the body either when you hold it over the points? And so they're both over the points doing different things, but...
Well, that's more like these forks.
Okay.
Because these forks don't touch the body. These other forks do, and the
touch
bowls
the
do.
body. Okay.
Yeah, they do. And so they work like the needles.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's a few different ways you can do it. You can start out with the bowls because the bowls are more general, and then you can get more specific with the tuning forks, which is a good way of doing it. Or you can start with the tuning forks, get things sort of open and moving, and then go into the bowls. It kind of depends on what you want to do.
So when do you pull these weapons out?
Well, just recently, I had a patient who's had a lot of acupuncture in her life, and she can be really sensitive to the needles. So sometimes she's like, the needles are too much for me. And so sometimes she actually requests a sound healing treatment. And some people, if people have never heard of them, they don't ask for them, obviously, because they've never heard of them. But like, for example, I just had a patient yesterday who's going through a really tough time, and it looks like she's probably going to have to get a hip replacement, and she's in a lot of pain. She's really been managing this hip problem for a year, and we've really kind of kept it at bay. And then just like 3 weeks later, or 3 weeks ago, something happened, and I videotaped her yesterday walking, and I showed her the videotape, and I was like, this looks like a point of no return. This looks like you need another MRI, and looks like you're going to need a hip replacement. Well, because she was in so much pain, she was very sensitive to the needles, very, very sensitive to the needles. And so I put in one needle and she was like, ah, and I thought, wait. And so I went and got the tuning forks and I did a little brief, like 5-minute tuning fork thing to just sort of get things moving, because pain makes things stagnate.
Right.
And so when everything is all stagnant and you have all this pain, sticking a needle in somebody is almost like sticking a needle in a water balloon. It's like you stick a needle in and everything goes, wah, you know, and it's very unpleasant. So after 5-10 minutes of the tuning forks, I could needle her no problem. She was absolutely fine. So that for me was kind of a new thing. That was like, oh, I mean, I probably should have figured this out years ago, but I just thought, well, that's a great way to kind of deal with patients that come in and that are more hypersensitive. You know, especially if people have never had acupuncture before, sometimes they're like, ah, you know, but, you know, usually after 1 or 2 needles, they feel fine.
Yep.
But some people are extra sensitive. So it's like, why not start out with the tuning forks?
Absolutely. All right. Let's see what it all can do.
All right, so I am actually going to start out with the tuning forks because I want to specifically address your gallbladder.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick this up a little bit because I just want to make sure I'm in the right spot here, where the points are, just so I know. Okay. Any sensitivity down in here?
No.
Oh, good, that's good. How about over here?
No.
Oh, good, because that's that extra point for the gallbladder, right? Remember when you had that flare-up, it was really painful.
From there up into my hip, and I thought I was having a hip problem.
So one thing about the tuning forks is you want to listen to them first. So let me just put these guys. So first you just listen to them. Some people hate the tuning forks, and those people are typically professional musicians.
Why would that be?
Well, because if they have perfect pitch, these tuning forks are not quite right. Like this is a C sharp, but it's not exactly a C sharp. And I've had some professional musicians over the years go, what's wrong with that C sharp, right? So that's
it probably changes a little bit over the years hitting it, right?
I don't think so. I just think that when people have perfect pitch, you play something that's a couple cycles off of C sharp, they know it immediately.
That's pretty funny.
So now we're going to put them on the soles of your feet right here.
Ooh. Can feel that vibrate through the soles of my feet. So that's right where you would put a needle?
Yep.
Interesting.
So then we're going to kind of take a little walk down the chakras here. The chakras being the energy centers of the body.
Wow, that's interesting. Right, without your thing there, you'd be battered and bruised from doing this.
Exactly. Now, one of the developers, when I was first in school learning about this, it was before they invented the activator, and we were taught to hit him on our.
Oh, that must hurt by the end of it.
Well, one of them got a fracture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they thought maybe we should rethink this.
I just really feel that go right through you.
Now, there are many other sound healing, sound making devices. My professor, Diane, and I learned this from, had a massage table like this, surrounded by enormous cymbals that she had custom made. And she would hit them with this gigantic mallet, and the sound would go right through you.
Yeah. So is this about both the sound and the vibration?
Yes.
Okay. It's not one or the other. Right? Okay.
I used to, I don't know what I did with it, but I used to have a didgeridoo. And I used to use the didgeridoo when I wanted to do a real earth tonifying treatment, because it's a very earth type sound. Over down here.
So does it mean anything on the soles of my feet that I feel the vibration more in one than the other?
Yes.
Like this side where my gallbladder channel is, I'm feeling it more.
Oh, good. Okay, so now we're going to do, let's see, what would be best? We're going to do a little bit of dispersing. Okay, and then we're going to do a little tonifying.
Okay.
So first you listen to them.
Mm.
And sometimes I like to go like this, so you get both sounds in each ear.
Mm. I actually like that.
And that's also telling, because if you like it, if it sounds good to you, oops, then it's probably a sound you need.
Right.
And anybody who's listened to music knows that, you know, there are some musical instruments that resonate with you more than others. So now we're just telling the liver that we want it to move a little bit.
So is my gallbladder issue something you consider a stagnation thing?
In part,
Okay.
yes. It also gets stagnant, and then it goes into like excess mode. So we have to soothe it, we have to move it, and then we also have to like harmonize it, I guess would be a good way of putting it.
Okay. Ooh. All right, that's where you always put a needle on my hand there.
That's
right
your
there.
least favorite
Yeah.
spot.
So are those channels connected, the opposite hand and opposite foot?
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's all connected, okay.
Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit for the spleen here, because you got a little bit of dampness. So we're going to say, okay, get rid of the dampness.
It's very calming, just like the needles. It's really bizarre.
Oh yeah, people fall asleep all the time.
So which ones are these again?
These are the dispersing ones.
Okay.
So I'm just dispersing some areas.
But when you use needles, they're not dispersing needles. So what's the difference in the way that the treatment is happening? You know what I'm asking, kind of?
Yes, so there are different ways of manipulating the needles that are more tonifying or more moving or kind of like that. So it's how we manipulate them, it's how we insert them, and how we manipulate.
So then you are getting the same result and effect out of both.
Yeah, and so what's always interesting is that acupuncture points all do a whole bunch of different things depending on what you use with them, right? So, for example, a point for constipation can also be used for diarrhea, depending on what you use with it.
Right.
and my belief anyway is that the body seeks harmonious balance. So the body takes what it needs from the treatment and does its thing, does its own thing.
It discards what it doesn't, in a sense, yes.
Yes. So we're going to do...
Right on the gallbladder.
No, we're going to do this one right here first. Then we're going to do...
So if you're dispersing, does it fall in line that there's a deficiency somewhere else that it needs to go to?
That's a good question. My personal belief is that yes, if there's an excess, there's probably a deficiency someplace else. It's like when we see people that have like edema or swelling, they almost always also have dryness someplace. Like, because it's a fluid metabolism problem. So you've got too much water here, you don't have enough there. So someone might have swollen ankles and they're thirsty or something like that.
Ooh, goes right through me, that one.
Okay, so now I'm going to put a bowl right here.
Okay.
And it's my heavy bowl, so it's a little bit heavy.
Okay.
But it feels good. Yeah. Kind of interesting. Not working. Not doing what I want. We'll get back to that. And we're going to use this fork. We're going to do a little bit of tonifying.
It's definitely a little bit of difference in the two.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle.
Very subtle, but the fact that you switch ears, you can tell.
All right, so then we're going to do some tonifying here. And here. Yeah, I was just talking to one of my ex-students yesterday, and she said, you should make a video about this and, you know, make a little continuing education project because people would like to learn how to do this.
Good idea.
I know. I thought, well, that's a good idea.
This is not something taught in acupuncture school, in TCM school?
I believe, like, I mean, my school was huge. I mean, I don't think there are schools that big anymore. I mean, there were almost 400 people in the school that I went to.
So they were able to get
So
into everything.
I had a lot of opportunity that people don't have anymore. So you know, the people that developed this system of Acutonics, it's called, came to my school, and I could take it as a elective.
What's it called again?
Acutonics.
Acutonics. Okay.
Yeah, and they still have a website, and I believe, and they still said that there's way more stuff than what I have.
Okay.
Way more. So now I'm going to use, where is it? So we're going to give you a little boost to your yang.
That one sounds like something on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Ah, maybe it is. And we're going to take this off. We're going to do a little dispersing.
This is a different one?
Huh? And we're going to give you
So you obviously feel that too, right?
Uh-huh.
So does it help you at all doing it?
Personally, I think it does.
Okay.
I think that I also get a lot of benefit from giving people acupuncture.
Right.
It's amazing how long it rings.
Incredible.
And then these are the ones that work on your energetic field. So there's several different ways you can kind of affect this. Go like this. Go like this. And let's see. Now we're just gonna, you don't really have to listen to them again because you already did. Now, I think we're just gonna do a little bit here. And there.
You can totally feel that vibration hitting the points the same way the needle does.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I was learning about this, I went to see the professor, whose name I can't remember, Diane Carey, I think is her name. And she gave me a treatment on her table with the big symbols. that she hit with this hammer or a mallet that was like 4 feet long. And one of them, I felt go right through my body, and I felt like I was riding a whale out of the solar system. And I said, what is that
What does
symbol?
that signify?
And she said, oh, that's the symbol that is the frequency of Neptune. And I went, Neptune? Okay. And like, I mean, I really like had like this sort of vision of like this green whale out into the universe. It was wild. It was crazy. So anyway, so that's kind of a little bit of everything. And then usually at the end, we just kind of do kind of what we did in the beginning and just sort of give you a little bit of a calming kind of finish. And there's all kinds of other techniques. There's a technique for working on the spine. And, it kind of depends on what you want to accomplish.
So is the relief one gets from this the same, expected to be the same as the needles and everything? Yeah.
The one thing about it is that it's labor intensive.
Right.
So like usually I can let people sit with the needles for 20, 30 minutes or even longer. And then that gives me time to write the chart notes.
Right. This you've got to stick with it the whole time.
Yeah, you got to.
Do you ever do both, the needles and this?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. Like that patient I told you about that was very needle sensitive because she was in so much pain. That worked like a charm.
Woo! Everyone tickles a little.
Yeah, it can tickle a little. All right. There you go.
Wow.
So, that was a little different.
Very, but I feel oddly the same as I feel after you take the needles out.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, so there you go. I feel, like I say, I feel the same as when you take the needles out and do mox and everything on me.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. And usually, we're not chatting.
Right. You're just doing the treatment. So wonderful. Alrighty. The start of our second year of the In Medicine and On Medicine podcast began with a treatment. So we do more treatments throughout the year. We do it 3 or 4 times throughout the year. So you can see what it actually looks like, unedited, with the time, sometimes where there's no talking or whatnot. I'll put a little music underneath this, but you see what actually goes into one of these. So as always, this is Susan Wellman. She is an Oriental medicine doctor and East Asian medical practitioner here in the Las Vegas, Nevada Valley. Right here, actually. Her information comes across the screen every so often. If you want to get in touch with her, make an appointment, get some of that wonderful treatment that I just had done for yourself. Do something other than gamble, as I like to say, when you come here. You may also leave...
People actually live here.
You're right. A lot of us live here, and we don't gamble and don't go to the Strip.
Exactly.
Although a lot of us that do live here, as we know, do go to the Strip a lot.
That's true.
Anyways, you may leave comments in the bottom also, and next week we'll see you again, and we'll be back in the studio with the stars of our show, Leo and Marty, the flat and wired-haired boys. I'm Scott. This is the In Medicine and On Medicine podcast. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Bye.